Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another inspiring biography story where we not only learn about the lives of amazing people, but also practice English listening. I'm so excited to share with you the life story of one of the greatest leaders in history, Abraham Lincoln. Listening to these stories will help you improve your English skills while also motivating you to never give up, no matter how tough life gets. Now sit back, relax, and let's begin the story of Abraham Lincoln, a man who started from nothing and became one of the most important leaders in the world. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12th, 1809, in a small log cabin in Hodgenville, Kentucky, USA. He was the second child of Thomas and Nancy Lincoln. The family was poor and life was not easy for little Abe. The cabin was very small, with only one room where the entire family slept, ate, and lived. When Abraham was born, there were no schools nearby. Education was a big challenge for children in those days, and the Lincoln family didn't have money for fancy books or a private teacher. But from a very young age, Abraham loved to read. His family didn't have much, but Abraham's mind was hungry for knowledge. Life for Abraham Lincoln was filled with hardship. When Abraham was only 9 years old, something tragic happened that would change his life forever. His mother, Nancy Lincoln, passed away due to milk sickness, a disease caused by drinking the milk of cows who had eaten poisonous plants. Abraham was heartbroken. He had loved his mother deeply, and her death left a big hole in his heart. After his mother passed away, Abraham's father, Thomas, remarried. His new wife, Sarah Bush Johnston, came into their lives when Abraham was around 10 years old. Sarah was kind and caring, and she treated Abraham with love and understanding. She also encouraged his love for learning and brought books into their home. Even though Abraham was still sad about losing his mother, he slowly started to build a bond with his stepmother. But life wasn't easy for young Abraham. The family moved around a lot and they didn't have a stable home. Abraham had to work on the farm to help his father. He split logs to build fences, plowed fields, and did other hard jobs. But despite all the work, Abraham always found time to read. He read books by candlelight at night, sometimes for hours after a long day of work. As Abraham grew older, he became a young man full of dreams. He wanted to do something bigger with his life. But his family was poor and he didn't have many chances. When Abraham was about 22 years old, he went to New Salem, a small village in Illinois, where he worked at a store. It was here that he met Anne Rutledge, a kind and beautiful young woman. Abraham and Anne became very close, and many people believed they were in love. They dreamed of a future together. But life was cruel. In 1835, Anne fell very ill and tragically died. Abraham was heartbroken once again. He had already faced so many losses in his life: the death of his mother, the moving from place to place, and now the loss of the woman he loved. This loss was a deep pain for young Abraham, but it also taught him something important about life. Life is hard, but we must keep going no matter what. Despite the many challenges and heartbreaks he faced, Abraham Lincoln never gave up. He worked hard and did his best to improve his life. After Anne's death, Abraham decided to focus on something that had always interested him: politics. He began to read about the laws and the government of the country. He wanted to make a difference. Abraham's first step into politics came when he decided to run for the Illinois state legislature in 1832 at the age of 23. He didn't have much money or support, but he believed in himself. However, he lost the election. Many people might have given up after losing, but not Abraham. He kept going. After his loss in the election, Abraham turned to a new path. He decided to become a lawyer. He didn't attend law school because he couldn't afford it, but he studied on his own. Lincoln worked hard, reading law books, practicing in front of a mirror, and learning from other lawyers. He passed the bar exam in 1836, becoming a lawyer at the age of 27. Abraham Lincoln began to practice law in Springfield, Illinois. He was known for being honest and fair, which earned him the nickname Honest Abe. He became very successful as a lawyer, helping people solve their problems and always sticking to his values. But even with success in law, he still dreamed of something bigger. He realized that he wanted more than just a career in law. He wanted to make a difference in the world, and that meant stepping into politics. In 1834, at the age of 25, Lincoln was elected to the Illinois state legislature as a member of the Whig Party. This was his first big step into the world of politics, and it was just the beginning. Lincoln didn't just sit in meetings and talk about laws. He used his position to speak out about important issues that were affecting people's lives. He was very concerned about slavery and its effects on the country. While most politicians at that time ignored the issue, Lincoln stood up and spoke about the need for freedom for all people. Even though he wasn't yet a famous leader, people started to notice his passion for justice and his commitment to what was right. Lincoln's path in politics wasn't easy. He faced many struggles. In 1836, when he was only 27 years old, he decided to run for Congress. He thought that if he became a congressman, he could do more for the people and fight against slavery. But it wasn't meant to be. Lincoln lost the election. It was another failure in his life. But just like before, Lincoln didn't give up. He didn't see losing as the end. Instead, he saw it as another lesson, another opportunity to learn and grow. For the next few years, Lincoln continued his work as a lawyer and kept fighting for what he believed was right. He didn't win every battle, but his reputation as a fair and honest man grew. He knew that in order to truly make a difference, he needed to keep pushing forward. He often said, "The best way to predict your future is to create it." In 1858, something amazing happened. Abraham Lincoln was asked to run for the U.S. Senate. He agreed, knowing that it was a chance for him to speak out about the issue of slavery. But this time, he wasn't alone. He was running against one of the most powerful politicians in Illinois, Stephen A. Douglas. The two men held a series of debates that would change the course of history. These Lincoln-Douglas debates became famous because they were about more than just politics. Lincoln spoke powerfully about the need to end slavery in the United States. He didn't just talk about the wrongness of slavery, he also explained how it affected everyone, even those who didn't own slaves. Lincoln's words were clear and powerful. He said, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." This meant that the country couldn't continue to be both free. Slaveholding at the same time, it had to choose a side. Lincoln was telling America that it had to choose freedom for all people. Although Lincoln lost the Senate race to Douglas, his speeches and ideas had a huge impact on the nation. People started to take him seriously as a leader. He had shown that he was willing to stand up for what was right, even when it wasn't popular. His words spread across the country, and soon people from all over the United States were talking about him. Abraham Lincoln was no longer just a small town lawyer. He was a rising star in American politics. Gettysburg. The battle lasted 3 days and resulted in one of the highest death tolls of the war. The Union's victory at Gettysburg was a turning point, but it was also a reminder of the incredible sacrifice being made. Lincoln, devastated by the loss of so many lives, knew that he had to address the nation. In November 1863, Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address, one of the most powerful speeches in history. It was brief, just over 2 minutes long, but its message resonated with people across the country. Lincoln reminded Americans that the war wasn't just about preserving the Union. It was about a higher ideal, freedom and equality. He declared that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people shall not perish from the earth. The speech, though short, captured the essence of the struggle. It wasn't just about winning a war, it was about fighting for a better future. It was about ensuring that every American, regardless of race or background, would be treated with dignity and respect. Lincoln's words inspired not only those in the audience, but also future generations. While Lincoln faced incredible challenges as president, his personal life was also filled with hardship. In 1862, his beloved son Willie fell ill and died at the age of 11. This was a devastating blow to Lincoln and his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln. The loss of a child is a pain no parent should ever have to bear, and it weighed heavily on Lincoln's heart. Despite his grief, Lincoln continued to lead the country. Those who knew him said that his personal sorrow made him even more compassionate and determined. He often spoke about how much he loved his children, and the loss of Willie reminded him of the importance of family and the preciousness of life. As the war continued, Lincoln grew more committed to ending slavery. He knew that the only way to truly heal the country was to free the enslaved people who had been held in bondage for so long. Wait for Chapter 2, so please subscribe my channel for more videos.